So this is pretty much here in the Local Government Act 1986, but there's actually quite a few provisions all the way through the Representation of the People Act. It says here, right, and obviously the current councillors and MPs have been interpreting this very well. This is what it comes down to. They interpret it in the way that they want, so they can do what they want, basically. But it says, a local authority shall not publish or arrange for publication any material which, in whole or partly, appears to be designed to affect public support for a political party. Now, that includes the candidate as well, obviously, the political party. But that's actually funny, because it would be interesting if they were independent, right? If they were an independent candidate, right, in an election, then that wouldn't be a political party, would it? It doesn't say support a candidate. It says a political party. Now, any member of a political party who's standing, therefore, is connected with the party, whether in part or in whole. And it says affect. It doesn't have to say, it doesn't have to be voting. This is to do with affecting in any way. And we know that publication also now means you're talking about not just flyers, literally anything that goes out. In fact, in the elections, this is another one. In the elections and referendums rules, remember, to publish means to make available to the public in any form or by any means. To make something available to the public in any form and by any means, right? And it says here, wholly or in part, to affect the public support. Affect the support. So that was like to affect the support for or against, right? So now the thing is, a local authority. So it comes down to, I think that this, if you're a campaign manager for Sue Hall and you are not responsible or connected with arranging any publication of any of their stuff, and you're a campaign manager, in fact, if you stood there and you ask someone to pass you the microphone, right, and then you're a councillor and you start saying, oh, I'm going to give you some election advice, you've arranged for it. You've arranged for it because you arranged for them to pass you the microphone, right? If you're at an event, right, how would you arrange for it to be published if you're in an event, right, and there's a lot of people present, right? It's make available in any form and by any means, right? That's actually talking. If you've got a crowd around you and you're a town crier, that's how they used to deliver it, remember? How does a town crier deliver a message to the public, right? He stands there, rings his bell, and then shouts it out when they all gather around, right? Public speech. It's made available to the public in any form and by any means, right? I know that because I had to study that for the Class E and F, because this is what we're dealing with, is Class E. We're dealing with Class E material now, Class E material, which is treated separately to Class F. So the only thing that swings it, really, for me, that is the only dispute that they could come up with to try and get out of this is that they are the local authority. But if you're walking around with a councillor, you're attempting to obtain the title of councillor, right, or of mayor or whatever. Now, the thing with the candidate is that people can have two positions or two jobs. I think it would be a bit crazy if you were a local councillor and the mayor, go see the mayor, the local council job about, But apparently people can have positions. I think George Galloway might be running for London mayor as well. But, so now the thing is, if you're the candidate, you're meant to be that supposedly the way they do it now is that you're on the list or on the register, or you've registered and you're the candidate and you're the one who's petitioning. You're petitioning the people to sign to get you into the government, right? Although the traditional way of looking at it is from, all through the Middle Ages, right, was that the public, someone went round and blew a horn, right? And then round 23 or 24 different places around the area, the town, right? Or he went and rode round, blew a horn, got everyone to come to the town, right? And then they would elect the jurors, right? And they would nominate people. You could nominate who you wanted, right? I'm pretty certain it was a free, open process. You choose who, you vote for who you want. And then they decide, count it up the vote. So you could, nominate anyone. And whoever got the most nominations ended up being jurors permanently. Now that's a free, open process. That process, I'm sure that is what the American Constitution originally based their process on for choosing the president. That's how it's drafted. I've read it. It says that you can nominate anyone, right? And obviously all these local areas around America, in the smaller villages and towns, they would add up, votes, and then whoever got the most votes from that area, then they would send it in, to federal government or whatever, and then all the areas sent in whoever got the most votes from their areas and name. That's going to be how they did it. And then the parties started issuing these tickets. So, people would just go get the ticket. It was basically their proposals. In England, in the Middle Ages, or later Middle Ages, what happened after the mayor had finished in office is that he would apparently choose 3 people. I'm not sure whether he chose them from the jurats or the justices of the peace, or it could be any 3. And then the rest of the people could vote out of those 3 who they wanted. That's kind of how we're sort of doing it now. But what's happening really is the political parties are putting people forward. Although anyone can go independently and stand forward. But it wasn't really about who wanted to be. The mayor would choose someone, but I think that at that point they'd already been getting quite a few things wrong, because I think that they had an argument over jurats, and then they said that whether they were regarded as equivalent to justices of the peace or not, right? And apparently they've been doing it wrong. I think that they hijack. I think that they end up duping people so the mayor could pick people rather than the people could pick who they want. And I think at that point it was against Magna Carta for the judgment of the peers. And I think that if people could have probably challenged them legally on that at the time to say that, no, we can, choose anyone for mayor, right? So it's meant to be the people's free choice of all. The people decide who they want to nominate. Each person decides who they think should do the job. I think that's how it's meant to work. And then you get someone elected who the majority of the people want. It wasn't meant to be about who wants to do it. It was meant to be about who the people want to do it. So I don't think you'd vote for yourself. To be honest, I'm quite sure that I don't think that you voted your name down. I think that you voted for someone else. So you couldn't say I want to do it. That is free of conscience. That's like with a free conscience. Councillors are meant to not represent themselves when they're on the council, right? On that model, if you don't vote for yourself, if you can't vote for yourself, you've got to vote for someone else. How could like a person say, "Oh, I'll stand," or "I want to go for it"? One of the local guys keeps pushing leaflets through saying, "Oh, I will stand," but apparently you can't. You can't stand. People say whether they want to nominate you, whether they want to nominate you. You know, that's how I think it's supposed to be done. But we've ended up with these people self-nominating with their own conscience. Oh, I'll do it, right? And then when they get into the council, but oh no, I want to do it. And then when they get in there, they're like, oh no, but apparently I can't have a conscience. The council policy is that you can't have a conscience. You know, you can't have an opinion. You got to have the you're voting on what the people want. You know, what the majority of the people want on each decision, supposedly, right? You won't believe that from this current government, who was running the show on Pure Corporate. The destiny of mankind, planned by Bill Gates, you know, Elon Musk, and Jeff Bezos, and you know, Rishi Sunak's wife. We'll decide what happens to the race of the future planet, and you know, what innovations in technology, because we're in charge. That's funny. I thought we were all voting on, you know, what the people want. You know, so. I mean, you can't walk around with a title councillor and not be the local authority, because what the name has authority. you have the authority. You've taken an oath, right? That you would take the office upon yourself. The oath, right? The oath of the councillor is that I take this office upon myself. Now, what is the office of? Well, it's of councillor. The office is of councillor that he takes upon himself. So if you've taken upon yourself the office of councillor in your oath, how can you not be the local authority, right? How is Matthew Goodwin Freeman free of being an authority? He's free of his authority. I'm free of my authority. What a nupty. Complete and total nupty. I like to see any court case where this has been argued and won by the Conservative Party or Labour, that no councillor is the local authority. They haven't taken the office upon themselves. I have not taken this office. What is a new councillor's oath? I have not taken this office upon myself. And in future, I can assist and aid any candidate into the election, because I am not this local authority. You know, it almost seems like a light switch they want to switch on and off. You know, I'm a councillor, no, I'm not. I'm a councillor, no, I'm not. You know, preposterous. They are, you know, Councillor Matthew Goodwin is the local authority. He took the office upon himself in the oath, right, for his duration, whatever it is, 3 years, right? So he cannot assist, right, anyone in a campaign while he is a serving councillor, right? Unless he is the candidate, right, for re-election or something else. And then he's petitioning the people to do it, right? So that they're the rules. These are the rules. Otherwise, he is a council asset and resource himself, right? If he's helping Sue Hall, the council's helping Sue Hall, right? And this here, the local authority shall not publish, that means make available to the public in any form and by any means, even by his mouth, right? Or lifting his hand up. I will make this leaflet available to the public in any form and any means after I've drawn it, designed it, and fucking posted it through everyone's letterbox with my own hand. Councillor Matthew Goodwin Freeman, not, you know, or arrange for Sue Hall's publication. No, Councillor Matthew Goodwin, have not taken the office of councillor upon myself. And I have not arranged for any of Sue Hall's material to be distributed, published. I have not arranged for her to speak in public by giving her a lift there in the vehicle. How did she appear there? If that isn't an arrangement, I'll arrange for you to be there at 2 o'clock after you have given a lift in the car I'm using for the council as well, and filled it with petrol, claim for council expenses. You know, what are these people doing? Who are these people? Who actually are they? How do they end up where they are? Do they know the law? Do they read the law? Who verses them in it? I mean, you get more education at Scout Camp. You know, you get more education sworn in at Scout Camp, building bivouacs in the forest, than some of these councillors get. I mean, what is it, the highways executive telling them the rules, crooked as a bent nail, you know? Is it the the legal department at the council telling them the rules? Oh, let's do that one. Let's do that one. The council legal services provided for councillors to give them aid. I hope you aren't giving councillors election aid and advice in the Representation of the People Act. I have taken the office of councillor upon myself, and now I have access to legal services in the council. Ooh, they'll give me some advice. I'm Councillor Matthew Goodwin. I've got access to legal services. Hey, could you give us some advice on the Representation of the People Act, possibly? Or the Local Government Act. Sue's trying to get my pal Sue Hall. Sue Hall! Are you getting advice from legal services in Harrow Council on your personal election for Representation of the People Act, possibly, which is meant to be funded by the Conservative Party headquarters, and they got their own legal advice team, you know? I hope Harrow Council aren't giving out any advice on the Representation of the People Act, given that no council legal services should have anything to do with it, that act, because the council can't get involved in elections. Yeah, there's at least 2 councillors on Harrow Council knocking around together. Maybe they have access to legal services. Can the Electoral Commission investigate that? Oh, we can't investigate the behaviour of candidates. Well, actually, you've got to investigate this, where it says local authorities helping elections. It's actually the candidate's buddy, because they're the council. They're taking the office upon themselves. They can investigate councils breaking the law, investigating councils who are publishing or arranging the publication in any form and by any means, including through your mouth, through a handheld microphone, like Councillor Simon Forthrop from Bromley Council was doing the other day, from the party bus, and, you know, telling people about his having a drink in the pub, you know, probably buying around the pints for everyone, giving them election advice. I, Councillor Simon Forthrop, have taken this office upon myself in Bromley Council to go down the boozer and give election advice over TikTok to 83,000 people in a Facebook group. And share it to their wider audience of up to 400,000 people that have signed those petitions. Just a minute, that's more people than the Green Party got votes in the entire election. Oh dear, you know, this can't. We're not affecting the outcome of the election, are we? You know, we're giving election advice designed to affect public support for a party. If it appears so, well, it appears to me when it appears on Facebook. It appears to me because it appeared on Facebook, in whole or part of, all of the group or part of the group. It appears to be designed. I, Councillor Simon Forthrop, I'm going to give you election advice. That appears to be designed to affect the public support of a political party, in my opinion, if I ever saw one. You know, this is absolutely scandalous. How far back does this go? What have the Electoral Commission been doing for the last 10 years? Oh, messing around, getting borders changed in voting areas. This is absolute, complete and total corruption. Half of the councillors should be banned from standing again. Although we get councillors standing down all the time, you know, but more pop up. Where from? Tory headquarters. I think that it's so seriously widespread, and it probably goes back so long that these parties should be prosecuted. If you think about who's responsible for this, right, it's actually the parties, the Tory and Labour Party, because they've got a responsibility over people who stand in their name for their conduct, right? And the Electoral Commission, this is a field responsible for candidates' behaviour. Well, someone is. They're responsible for local authorities affecting the election that they're running, that's for sure, right? And if those local authorities are being misguided by the Tory and Labour Party headquarters, you know, this is, you know, the worst thing is that a lawyer, Sir Keir Starmer, who's actually in charge of the Labour Party, meant to be in charge of public prosecutions of all England, yet, you know, Max Hill doesn't even know the law. Oh, forgot about those two, you know. Oh, forgot about that one. You know, oh, it's okay, Max, just forget about it all because, you know, you're standing down anyway. You're not competent to be in charge of the Crown Prosecution Service of all England, are you? You know, this is it. But he is. He's in charge of it because it's balls, pure balls. How do you do a job like that? Well, you have to be a blind man. You know, you have to not recklessness. If you're not reckless, you're, you know, you know, you can't be a police officer unless you're reckless. You know, who else would break doors down? You know, you can't bang your foot through doors. You know, and rock up with you know, laser cutters. You know, cutting Extinction Rebellion off. You know, walls or whatever it is, without being reckless. You know, you have to be reckless. To be a police officer nowadays. And then there's the, oh, are you okay? You know, oh, there's a protest going on. There's someone just sat there in the street doing nothing. Oh, move, are you going to move? Oh, yes, I'm just taking my dinosaur costume off. Well, you know, oh, I'll have to nick you. Oh, I'm arresting you. It's not a very nice thing, I know. I'm going to have to take you to the police station and name you a criminal and put you through all that trauma. But don't worry, I'll kneel down at the side of you, pretend that I'm concerned. Oh, I'm just putting these handcuffs on. I'm not hurting you, am I? Well, actually, you're about to arrest me and humiliate me and call me a criminal. Yes, I know, but I've got to kind of pat you on the head as well. Naughty dog, naughty dog. No, good cop, bad cop. You know, what I'm doing to you is severely horrible and nasty, but it's my duty. But, you know, it's like some kind of perverse sexual fetish. You know, hey, I'm a police officer. I'm nicking you. But at the same time, I'm asking you if you're okay and if you'd like a drink of water. And if this is hurting too much, oh, is it hurting too much as I, you know, embrazzle criminal onto your forehead, you know, or, you know, lock you in handcuffs and humiliate you in front of the public? Oh, it's okay, everyone. I'm just arresting this criminal who's broken the law, humiliating her in front of all public. Don't worry. Oh, just a minute. Are your handcuffs a bit too tight, darling? Are your handcuffs too tight? I don't know. You know. So she needs a glass of water. I'm a good cop, but I'm also a bad cop at the same time. Good cop, bad cop. You know. I like this job. It's a bit weird. Feel a bit fetishy. Good cop or bad cop? Well, I'm both. You know. This is it. Yeah, you know, I'll just, you know, it's who else in life, you know? Who else could do that in life? You know, other than Max Mosley and his freaking Hitler cellar getting whiplash by, you know, a leather fetish, you know, freaking nipple clamp, whatever he was up to, Max Mosley with his, you know, weird sexual fetish cellar, whatever. Yeah, good Max, bad Max, you know? Hey, that's funny because, guess what? I'm good citizen, bad citizen, you know? Hey, look, here's an old lady, I'll help her across the road, right? Now this guy just called me a fool, so I'll slap him around the face. Look, good citizen, bad citizen. See? Look, good cop, bad cop. Hey, where did you get that from? Well, you know... well, you know, we can take it where you want. Rishi's the one writing the laws down. Now you can't speak about what you want in your own house anymore. Well, see, now yesterday I was a good citizen. Today I'm a bad citizen in Scotland. You know, well, I'm a good citizen in England, but to Scottish standards, that's a bad citizen. You know, hey, have you got any more jokes, Rishi? Write me a joke down. Okay, then. Bending over is a crime. Don't pull my leg. You know, this is it. We need to get a grip on these politicians. There's something seriously, defectively wrong with them. They're not fit for purpose. We didn't nominate them. They nominated themselves. Hey, I'll do it. I'm Rishi, a multimillionaire. I'll be Prime Minister. Oh, look, there's Boris there, another muppet. Hey, I'm Boris. Trust me, I'll be your Prime Minister for a little while until I made a complete and total mess of the whole thing, and then I have to stand down because I'm a fool. But don't worry, I'll continue to run my newspaper column because it was legal in the first place when I was Prime Minister. Yes, I can affect. Look, I'm Boris. Boris Johnson, take this office upon me. I am now the local authority. Boris Johnson, always on call. Hey, Boris, there's an emergency. Yes, there's a flaming meteorite heading for Parliament. Oh, could you do something like call the National Guard or something, or maybe call an emergency meeting? Yes, just a minute. I'm just finishing off my newspaper column. I'll have to put my bat costume on soon and assume the local authority upon me. Yes, but that's why I'm talking to you now on the phone, because you're the Prime Minister of England, Boris. Oh, yes, but no, this is Boris Limited. This is not Boris Johnson. This is Boris Johnson Limited. I'm acting as my proxy company, dormant. But you're not dormant because you're talking to me now. No, but I'll be the Prime Minister in 5 minutes after I've stopped being Boris Johnson Limited, and then I'll be liable for calling the National Guard. Yes, but I'm just halfway through writing my newspaper column now, which is been published, and I'm arranging for it to be published in any material and in whole or part. If it appears to be this material does not appear to be designed to affect the public support for a political party. Yes, Boris, but you're a Conservative. You know, are you not exactly telling everyone to vote for Labour? Are you? No. No. In partly, you know, I only affect their humour, but do you affect their Conservative humour, Boris? Or I don't think the working class are laughing at your columns. No. Just a minute. We surveyed everyone in London, and no Labour Party voters were laughing at Boris Johnson's jokes. Only Tories. Seems to me these appear to be designed to affect support for the Conservative Party, Boris. Judging by the reactions from the audience, yes, look, they're all clapping. Oh, that's funny, I never thought of that one. Yes, because you're a complete and total failure to mankind, Boris. That's why you had to step down. How are you still at the newspaper? Well, I'm not. I was defeated about 6 months ago, but I'm just still carrying on like a faint spirit. Well, that's okay. Don't worry. We'll have you in prison soon after we've impeached you in Parliament. Don't worry. There's a waiting list after we've got all these councillors in as well lined up who have all broken the Publication of Political Publicity Act law as well. This is it. I don't see the Electoral Commission doing out about Boris Johnson's newspaper adverts, That's affecting elections, particularly if he's cracking out jokes about elections. Are you knocking out humour centred around opinion? Professor Tim Wilson is even coming out with, the certain caricatures in the newspaper. Oh, this is a Semitic picture. Anti-Semitic picture. You could have fooled me. I never knew. No, it's in code. It's coded like a Russian spy. You'd have to know a fair bit about anti-Semitism to know that it was an anti-Semitism joke. Well, to the average fool or naked person, it's just a cartoon. Oh yes, but it's an anti-Semitic cartoon. but how? I'll explain to you. I'll decode it. Well, but this means this, and that means that, and that refers to the other. Oh, I see now. Yes, that's definitely anti-Semitic. Can you do the same equation applied to Boris Johnson's newspaper column? Of course I can. This is this, that is that. This is Tory, and he's a twat. Oh yes, that's it. Enlightenment. I can see it now. It's a Conservative advertisement promoting Tory humour. Yes, I thought that would affect the outcome of the election. This is it. What are these people? If you're the Prime Minister of England, what are you doing anywhere near a publication? Specifically when you have taken the office upon you. you know, and publication in any form and by any means of it appears to be designed to affect public support for the party that you represent, which is the Tories. Unless you're writing a column in, you know, Arthur Scargill's memoirs, which I severely doubt Boris Johnson would be doing, you know.